Hello and welcome to this new Scale 500 news video. As you probably know by now, I did attend this year's AMS, the Amsterdam Aviation Model Collectors Fair, and I had a really good time there because I met a lot of you guys. But apart from that, I did also manage to talk with some really interesting people from the scale model business. Now, we all know that Scale 500 is struggling quite a bit these days, mainly because there isn't a lot of competition. But that was quite different in the beginning of the 2000s when there were quite a lot of players in the market, one of them being StarJets. But that brand disappeared, and the story of what happened to that brand has never really been told. No one really knows what happened, except for one person who really does know. Because I managed to talk with not just the founder of Gemini Jets, but also the founder of StarJets himself. And he knows exactly what happened back in the day.
In the late 90s, I started Gemini Jets, and then once Gemini Jets was established in China and in the US and in Europe, I decided there was a gap and it needed to, the Herpa was the only competitor. And there, I started collecting Herpas, and that's what made me start Gemini, because of the toy-like. I said I needed to collect something that's more scale and not looking like a toy. So the idea of Gemini Jets came up. And then after a few years, I said, why can't it be done in 500 scale? Why can't I take the 400 scale, what I'm doing, and make it in 500 scale with different aircraft types, types of aircraft that I'd like to collect and other people would like to collect. And that's how StarJets was born. So StarJets was done from the early 2000s. And with Gemini, we had partners. And the partners were basically the distributor of Herpa in the United States. And once StarJets was established, the brand started getting popular and people started buying less Herpa and more StarJets. And we noticed the trend, and my partners were not happy. So they took us to court and of course lost, because they didn't have a case, because they're distributing other products as well. So I decided amicably to stop making StarJets, to just continue with the Gemini 400 and Gemini 200 and 250 at that time. And the molds were sold to the current owners, JC Wings.
But what a sad ending for, and especially what a sad conclusion for the Scale 500 community.
It is, and it was sad, but at the same time, I'm also relooking at maybe doing something in the future, but we'll leave it at that.
All right, because I just wanted to ask you if you have any thoughts about maybe getting back into...
It's getting a lot of pressure from a lot of collectors, a lot of airlines, customers, and so forth, so we'll see.
All right, so we keep it a little bit in the dark if you come back, but let's just theorize a little bit. Mm-hmm. If you were to, what would be like the models that you desperately would like to do that we don't have?
All the new Airbuses for sure, the new Boeings, and of course the classics.
And I mean, from your experience from back in the day, and I'm sure you're still very much into the market, looking at the trends, like what's the difference like for the Scale 500 market, US versus EU, for example?
EU, you're going to have a lot more people collecting the 500 scale due to the size. And of course, if it were up to me, I would do only classic models, but unfortunately, within younger people, collectors, they want the new stuff. And the new stuff is what pays the bills, unfortunately. So even with Gemini Jets, I'd love to make nothing but 727s, DC-9s, and classic planes, but it just doesn't pay the bills. So you have to do less quantities and keep it at a limited edition. But for the mainstream A350s, 777s, 787s, this is where you have the big collectibles market for the collectors and as well as the customers.
But it would be a good mix, old and new.
Absolutely, totally, agree.
So quite the story. I mean, finally finding out what really happened to StarJets back in the day. But of course also maybe the possibility of him making a return with StarJets. I would love to see that happening. But in the meantime, all those collectors out there that are desperately looking for a specific StarJets model, Dan Asher has actually one really awesome offer for all you collectors.
If anybody needs StarJets, I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and you can give them my information. They can contact me privately, and I'll be happy to supply anybody with any 500 scales they're missing in StarJets.
So yeah, if you are looking for a specific StarJet model that you just can't find, now you have an email address that you can write to, and hopefully this way manage to get the one model that you've been looking for all those years. Now, what do you think about all of this? What do you think about the story, how StarJets will disappear and the possibility of them maybe coming back? Let me know in the comments section below. And of course, as always, if you like this type of content, then don't forget to leave a like. And if you are new around here, you're always welcome to hit subscribe. With that, I'm saying thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.